The bad orange man is still bad as New York tries even harder to go bankrupt. Hello everyone, I'm Bobtheorc and welcome to News Snark, where we make fun of dumb people on the internet. So, tonight we're going to talk about how New York is trying to seize or threatening to seize Trump's property if he doesn't pay the $454 million in civil fraud debt, according to the New York Attorney General. And this is coming from PBS's website. So, PBS, so they're probably kind of legit. And I think this is probably actually happening because they've got a hard-on for Trump. Now, here's the thing. It doesn't matter. What I'm going to talk about tonight, it doesn't really matter if Trump's innocent or guilty. Half the country doesn't believe he's guilty. At least half the country thinks this is a political hit job. And that's the important part, okay? Even the alleged victim says that Trump did nothing wrong and they'd be happy to do business with Trump again because they all made a lot of money. So, that's sort of the backdrop. But what we're going to talk about is this. The reason America is so wealthy and successful is because we have private property rights, and people trust that if they invest in America, that their assets are secure and they can do business here. And much like we're seeing people pulling away from the US dollar after the Russian sanctions, because many small countries that have nothing to do with Russia are like, well, if they can take Russia's money, then they can take my money too. We're seeing a lot of the same things happening in New York, and New York already had a lot of problems. When my dad's walking down the street of New York City, he sees a lot of empty businesses. It's a hollowed out city. I'm not in New York anymore. I love New York. But New York doesn't love me so much, and so I left. Many business owners are not going to invest in New York because of the taxes, the high taxes, the crime, the homeless population, now the illegal problem on the street, the drugs, all of these things. But what compounds it is if they think, oh, if I build a big business and they seize my stuff because they don't like me politically or they don't like something that I say, that's one more nail in the coffin. And it doesn't matter if you like Trump or not. Trump says a lot of really stupid things on the internet, and there are a lot of people who don't like him for very legitimate reasons. However, Trump has a lot of money invested in New York City, and many people back in the 80s attributed the turnaround of New York City to Trump and his real estate friends investing lots and lots of money into New York City. And if this can be seized, first off, I've never heard of a $454 million civil fraud penalty, especially in the case where the victim says nothing, there's no victim. So who are they going to pay this to? I think they're just going to take this money and pay it to the city or pay it to the state. That's kind of abnormal. But you're already seeing big time investors saying, well, I'm not going to build my data center in New York. I'm not going to build my business, my distribution center, my logistics hub in New York. New York has great access to shipping. Niagara Falls has energy. New York has a very skilled population, but a lot of people are bailing from New York. A lot of my clients I used to do consulting with are no longer in New York. They all bailed because of COVID. The city shut down during COVID and it never really recovered. And crime's gone through the roof. You can't own a gun in New York. You can't defend yourself in New York. Look at the bodega owner who was attacked by hoodlums, and when he fought back and defended himself, he's the one who went to jail. So there's no reason to be in New York if you're going to be doing business at this point. And it's going to continue to tank the New York economy. And New York's already having a lot of problems. Both New York and California lost population between the last census and this census. I wonder why that is. People don't want to be there. And you're going to see a hollowing out of the city, and you see a vast difference between upstate New York, which is rural and relatively well off, they don't have a lot of the problems that the city has. Then you have New York City, which is basically the capital of the world. I mean, the United Nations is based there. You have this huge population in a very small, compact area, and it's complicated and difficult to run. I understand that. I grew up there. However, New York needs a lot of money. It can create a lot of money because of Wall Street, but thanks to the internet, you don't need to be in New York to do business in New York anymore. Even though I was doing consulting work in New York for the last 25 years, I've been living in Oklahoma for 20 of that. I have an apartment in New York. I bounce back and forth, but I hardly spend any time in New York now because why? New York is turning into a shithole. And this is going to be one more thing. And it doesn't matter if you like Trump or not. You could think Trump's the biggest dick in the world, but this is still a bad idea to seize money in a perceived political manner. And I think they're going to have a hard time selling this to business owners. It doesn't matter if the politics line up and everything, makes the attorney general popular. The business owners see this and go, holy crap, they can seize my buildings. And so why would you hold assets in New York? So yes, the Orange Man is bad, but New York City and New York State are stupid, and they're going to continue losing money. They're going to have a lot of budget shortcomings, and they're going to go bankrupt if they don't change their ways. Thanks for watching. I hope you liked this video. I hope you learned a little bit about economics and common sense. Please ask any questions you want in the comments. I'll try to respond, and I will see you next time. Also, if you know anyone who's doing something stupid that needs to be made fun of, put me a link to their stuff in the comments, and I will review it, and I will poke fun at them on the internet as well. Thank you, and goodbye.